Today, I am here at Tyrol Basin sitting down with Brian Austin and Nate Mcgree. Okay, is your mic on? Yes, it is. Good. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what brings this podcast possible for everybody here. And these are some of my favorite items that I use, and it's everything I'm going to be showing you guys is I use in the field. So what I want to talk about first is VeteranIP, Veteran Innovative Products. Now, these guys are a veteran owner operator. Everything is all American made. Oddly enough, cool enough, is that these veterans are assembled here in Sparta, Wisconsin.
Oh, cool.
They have the assembly line to be able to tackle the thing, and then they recently won the contract to be in all Walmarts. So it does not bring down the quality of the Broadhead. It just has more exposure for it. Now, what makes this thing so popular is it's a 100-grain Broadhead. It's used for compound and for crossbow use, and of course recurve. Then it's surgical steel, it's extremely sharp. And I've cut myself numerous times just putting them in my quiver, but it's always been a good sign because last time I did, I shot one of my biggest bodied bucks ever. And it goes from inch and a quarter, as you see here, and it will span all the way up to 2.5 inches. Now, their claim to fame is that it's the first ever never fail mechanical broadhead because they use a metal collar and a spring system in there, so this way they do it. And there's a nice chisel tip right there. Now, the nice thing is you can replace the blades. So it's like they designed this to maintain the high-quality shaft, and then you just replace the blades as you go through it. Now, they just released a Hulk of a veteran. It's 175 grain because they want to get everybody that goes out west and then also on the safaris. And it just makes it bigger. It's just 175 grain broadhead. Now, the nice thing is that they do is include a field point in there to train you how to use it and how to launch it out there. So I'm going to pass this broadhead around so kind of guys give you a point of it. Now, it's much bigger than the Rage. Now, there's nothing wrong with the Rage, but it just shows you on how big they are with the cutting blades. And it's legal in all the states, which is fantastic. And then we have what we call the Atom broadhead, and it looks just like an atom because these are all razor wire right here, and this is what my fiance shoots, and she likes them because it's just fantastic to utilize. It's a very light, easy way to shoot 100 grain 100 grain point, so it's very easy to work, and and they still use a chisel tip with the whole thing, and it's just now you just use razor wire to cut through them, and it just destroys.
That's an interesting design. It is
a very interesting design. That this was something that Aerodynamics came up with years ago, and then Matt bought them out. Matt Fuert, he bought them shortly there afterwards. Then they also make a guillotine one for lopping off turkeys' heads. Now, the unique thing is there's a video out there that shows them using the guillotine on ostriches. Just practically decapitated. I mean, it was a close thing. But it was fantastic. Then they also created something called, they created what they call the hog log, which is fantastic to use. So if you have, up here in Wisconsin, we don't have the hogs, but everywhere down south, they're everywhere. So it's like a great way to pattern them, get them coming in. So this way, then you can trap them. If you live in Missouri, or if you live in Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, you can hunt on them and such. And you can find all their products at VeteranIP.com. And the next product I want to discuss is MV Outdoors and Hunting. Now, these guys, they built their brand on strength and perseverance and determination with the whole thing. Now, their website offers a full line of apparel and accessories, which is fantastic because it's like they have great quality of materials that they use. And on top of that, too, they carry Under Armour and several other ones as well. Now, their commitment is to those who are never willing to accept defeat, kind of like here with the whole Fit to Hunt motto here, because it's like these people that attempt this course or courses throughout the United States is that they never want to quit. It's just the mental fortitude. I mean, I ran the course today, and I shown my true colors and how out of shape I am, but I completed it. Now, there's an exclusive code for us to use, guys, for those who listen to the podcast. All these no-seams are quite obnoxious. Now, we're actually outside, so if you hear the wind blowing, it's just too nice to not be outside. So there is a new promo code, but I will get that out to you when I launch the podcast. But it will be 10% off your entire order, so get after it, folks. Then all of my designs and everything like that, and all of my products I've been reproducing is coming from Cajun Unicorn Designs. They're based out of Louisiana, so it's all American-made stuff. So it's all in-house, and they do everything for you. So if you have a request, they will meet your demand. You can find her designs, Cajun Unicorn Designs, on Facebook and Instagram. Now, one of my just came across this product here this past year. It's called Cook's Deer Attractant. Now, these guys are based out of northern Minnesota. What brings them to fame is that they're CW free herd, so certified is by the way as well. So this is why they're fantastic products. Now their scents never carry over from the previous year, and their scents are collected through the early fall throughout the rut. Now their scent is 100% pure, which means they have no water or preservatives added to it, so you'll never find them in a store because they directly ship to you. And they have several products you can check out. Now the ones I personally used this past season was Dominant Buck. Now that one is they use that urine from 5.5-year-old bucks. So this way it's just massive racks. And the cool thing is if you go onto the Instagram feed, you'll see their farm, and it's just huge racks. And it's like you could definitely tell, like if you have monsters on your field that you haven't seen in years, this will pull them out. Like last year, I found 2 bucks, never seen before. They just showed up. It's just fantastic. It's like, oh, this is exciting. The only downside is they showed up in October and they never came back again. So it's like, well, I got to do better next year. And they also use their certified peak doe estrogen. So it's like it's what makes it certified is that the urine that they utilize is at the peak of the rut, so it has the most amount of estrogen in it. So this way you have the highest amount per parts per million for the whole thing. Now, if you want to find out a whole breakdown of the thing, check out Where to Hunt podcast. They're based here in Wisconsin, out of Madison, and it's episode 54. It's Getting Inside the Buck's Head, and he sits down with Rich Cook, the owner, and they discuss about how to use the scents. And you can find all of his products, Rich's products, on cooksdeerscent.com. And the coolest thing is, folks, if you go to the Instagram following, you'll see everything on there is only using their products. And they pulled in some massive bucks. I mean, there's one guy here in Wisconsin that pulled a 200 pointer off somebody else's property using the Dominant Buck. So it's like, that's what kind of sold me on it. And our newest sponsorship is the Easy Cuts. Now, this is born from desire to build extremely high quality and lifetime guaranteed tools that will work and last. Easy Cut has been tested, designed, and have survived the harshest environments and toughest for the toughest individuals, for weekend warriors and the hardcore professionals. So it's like you don't have to use this stuff for just hunting, but this is great for pruning your own yard and such. Now, this was originally founded in 1988 from a longtime outdoorsman, Buster Greenway. These tools have been demonstrated and sold all across the country to millions of people. Then in 2014, Jerry Milo and Scott Blast purchased Easy Cut, and they just want to blow it up all over the place. Now, this is made in Illinois, just 4 or 5 hours from where we're at today. Their premier one is one I use, is what they call the Wow Saw. And it's a 10-inch curved surface and with a replaceable blade. And the nice thing is it's a non-slip, a rubber grip, which is fantastic. And then it cuts on the draw, which makes it one of their leading designs. And I was blown away when I found it in Warrens, Wisconsin, and it's like sold. And then they also have several other products too. They have the ratchet pruners. This way you can ratchet your blade into the limb, the Gen 1 lopper. Then you also have the Gen 2 lopper, the Kamikaze Force pruner, plus all of them have sheaths as well. So thank you for listening to all that. Now we're going to get into the podcast here. So I have Brian Austin.
That's me.
And I have Nate.
How's it going?
So Nate is the owner of Tyrol Basin. He recently purchased this in
August 18.
August of 18. So he's a brand new owner, and he is really, really putting his heart and energy into this. And he is a self-made man. This was not inherited. So it's a great thing to listen to a gentleman pull himself up from the bootstraps and get shit done.
I try.
So what is your premier attraction to the area? How long has Tyrol Basin been around?
Tyrol Basin has been around since the early 1900s. It's had a couple different names. In its current reiteration, it started in 1987.
Okay.
As Tyrol Basin we all know and love today. It had one ownership group from 87 until I bought it in 2018.
Okay.
And now we're just kind of giving it some new blood, some new life, bringing it back to what it should be.
Fantastic. I was talking to Case, and he was telling me about you guys repainted a bunch of stuff. You put in some stuff back in the infrastructure. You guys went ahead and really tackling the lawn, making sure it's very nice and manicured. And then, which also brings us to our other guest, Brian here. He is how do you describe your position with Fit to Hunt?
So I am the director of Train to Hunt.
Okay.
I'm the national director of Train to Hunt. Kenton Claremont is the owner of Train to Hunt, and he lives out in the state of Washington. So I'm kind of directing things in the Midwest, the South, kind of heading towards Colorado and whatnot. That's kind of my side gig.
Okay.
My full-time job. I'm also known as Get Fit with Brian. I have my own training studio that I do boot camps and train to hunt classes.
And that's located where?
That is in Fitchburg, Wisconsin.
Where's that comparison to Madison?
That's basically a suburb of Madison.
Okay.
So.
All right, then. So those who live in Madison, listen to it. Now you know where to go.
Yep. I'm a born and raised Wisconsinite. So.
Very cool. And Nate, you're here. You're from Wisconsin, aren't you?
I grew up in Minnesota.
Okay.
Moved to Madison area about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was a Packer fan growing up. I have since converted to the Vikings. Sorry.
Oh boy,
I'm a Vikings fan too, so no worries there.
It's all right. We'll never win a Super Bowl, so
exactly. That's why that's why you date women that are Vikings fans, because you know they'll never expect a ring.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And they're used to disappointment.
There you go. There you go. And so
with three kind of Midwesterner guys, maybe we should break out our accents for the non-Midwesterners. And
there you go.
Talk about some walleye fishing and
some Minnesota.
Yeah,
there you go.
Fishing in the boat.
In the boat there. I know. It's like I was out fishing here a few weeks ago and I caught a bunch of walleye.
Oh yeah.
I actually caught some about anywhere between 19 and 22 inches. So it's like they're beautiful fillets. So it's nice. I got.
Good eating.
Oh yes, they are. So I haven't eaten them yet, but boy, they're saving. So you said you're from Minnesota. Where at?
I grew up in Hastings, Minnesota, just south of the Twin Cities.
Okay, I'm from Stewartville, so it's like so we're in the same stomping ground there between 52 from Rochester to Minneapolis. So yeah, fantastic. Now, what are some of the features that Tyrol Basin offers besides skiing?
Well, we're skiing, snowboarding. Our core, what we've given really to the ski industry is freestyle. We were one of the first places to ever have a half pipe in the Midwest. We're very core to snowboarder culture. You can go to just about any ski area in the United States, and you say you're from Tyrol Basin, they know of us, and they've probably been here.
It's fantastic recognition there.
Yeah, we're a smaller ski area. We have 17 runs right now.
Mm-hmm.
Should have 19 by the end of the summer.
Wow.
Three triple chairlifts, 300-foot elevation. So we're not a mountain. However, we have some very unique features here: tree skiing, rock, cliff drops, all that sort of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we pack a lot of stuff into a small area.
And didn't you told me one time that you have one of the steepest slopes, a ski slope in Wisconsin, right?
Yep, we have one of the steeper ski slopes in Wisconsin, Double Diamond. It's about a 45% grade. It's pretty gnarly. So.
That's awesome, man. That's pretty cool. And so you wanted, one of your employees would tell me you want to bring in Frisbee Golf, right?
Yeah, we're doing disc golf. I just learned this. If you call it Frisbee Golf, they want to kill you.
Oh, yeah? I'm not a player. I do manly sports.
Yep. Me too. Yeah, we're adding disc golf. That's one of our first things we're adding for this summer. We're adding some mountain biking trails.
Okay.
We're doing Train to Hunt this month, June 29th. We're doing that. And then we're doing Haunted House this fall.
Oh,
with
wow.
a brand new tubing area on the other side of our property.
Wow. You're getting after it.
Yeah. We're trying to reinvest in Tyrol Basin here and make sure that it's here for many generations to come.
That's fantastic. And so now, how did you two meet up?
Yeah, so when I became the director of Train to Hunt late last year, I was talking to Kenton about potentially finding a new location for a Wisconsin qualifier.
Okay.
And living here close by, I'm like, Tyrol Basin would be a fantastic spot for that.
Mm-hmm.
The location that has been the last several years has been an archery club, so it's been limited on the space that we have.
Okay.
And being in Wisconsin and having it, the Train to Hunt event here has been the largest qualifier, like I said. So I wanted to have it at a venue where we could draw more people, be very spectator friendly, so that competitors can bring their family and friends to cheer them on. And I just called Tyrol Basin up, talked to Nathan, and he, being an avid hunter himself, he gets what we're doing, and it's fantastic to have somebody that supports Train to Hunt as a venue and is helping us put on a fantastic event. So.
That's awesome. And you did it this morning for training, right?
I did. I thought I was going to die. It is tough. Yeah, Train to Hunt it's great. I think getting people outside, getting them active. You know, we try to do that in the winter with our winter sports, but having a summertime or fall activity, getting the youth interested in hunting. Hunting is on a decline. We need to get the youth out. We need to get them in the woods. Not only teach them a thing or two about survival, but you know, just get their ass off the couch. And get that phone out of their hand, and you can learn a lot from nature, and just being out and exercising and having a good time outdoors, and using this beautiful space for something other than snow. It should be used, and that's what we really want to do.
Now, you're gonna be performing in June 29th then here?
I don't know if I'm going to compete this year. I think I need a little more training after today's workout.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because I actually did the course here too tonight, and it's like I found out I am completely out of shape, but it's like I recognize that I have good cardio, but it's like I don't have knee strength, so my ligaments were really just displaying their weakness. So it's like I really had to challenge myself to go up these hills, and I didn't do the complete course, but I did, like, what would you say, 80% of the course?
Yeah, I'd say three-quarters of it probably.
And I tell you what, this will definitely let you know that you need to put your money where your mouth is when it comes down to it. And it's fantastic, because the way it's set up here is this is exactly how Wisconsin hunting can possibly be, especially if you're hunting on private land or public land, don't matter. It's like the scenarios that Brian here set you up, it is real world. It's like going over logs, going down hills, going up hills, and carrying dead weight too. It's like it's definitely shows you what you need to focus on for the upcoming season. It's like the great thing is like you don't have to be in shape. It's like it helps, but it allows you to really focus on what I learned, what I need to focus on. So it's like I need to work on my knees and my tendons. So this way, it's like when I tackle this upcoming season, I'm going to be more prepared for it, because it's like I learned that it's like I need to work on my knees and my ligaments. So it's like it's an absolute blast. It's like it's beautiful course. And why don't you break down all the events that you're going to be doing at the qualifier?
Yeah. So the event itself on Saturday morning, we will kick things off around 9 a.m. The competitor meeting and stuff will be around 8, and then the first heat will start around 9. We expect to have maybe about 100 competitors.
Fantastic.
We'll be running people in heats of 10. So the way that we break that down is that we start with what we call the challenge course.
Okay.
The challenge course, you start with 20 over-the-box step-overs. It's a 20-inch box that these guys and gals are stepping over with anywhere from a 20 to a 50-pound sandbag on their shoulder, depending on what age group they're in. So they do that challenge, and then they drop the sandbag and they take off on a short little run, maybe about a 200-yard run out and back. They come back, they grab their bow, and they shoot a target. Maybe about a 30-ish yard target is what they're going to be shooting. So they do that 4 times with 4 different physical challenges. The first one, like I said, is step overs. Then it is ground to shoulder with the sandbag. So they pick the bag up off the shoulder. It's dead weight or off the ground. And they put it up on their shoulder, step over the box, and they do that 10 times. Take off on the run, come back, shoot again, and then they have the 10 burpees. So they do a burpee with the sandbag, with the brute force sandbag. They throw it up over their head, turn around, pick it up, and they do it again 10 times. Run, come back, shoot. So 4 challenges, 4 shooting opportunities there. And then once they're done with the challenge course is when they throw on their pack. Okay. It's a weighted pack, anywhere from 20 to 50 pounds, again, depending on age and male or female. And then what we're going to have here is roughly a 2-mile mountain course.
All right.
So it's not super long, but it's not going to be short either.
It's not short. It's about a 15-minute run to get through everything from start to finish.
Right. 15 or 50?
50.
Yeah. I thought you said 15.
No,
there's
no 15. I am not Shazam here.
So we start with the mountain course going straight up ski lift A here. And we're going to have, Nathan's going to be having the ski lift running. So this is a perfect opportunity for your friends or family to hop on the ski lift and actually ride the lift up while you are just grinding that hill out. So being here at Tyrol Basin, we have, in Train to Hunt, we call it a mountain course. And people that do, or people are not aware of Train to Hunt are like, well, it's Wisconsin. We don't have mountains here. I tell you what, this is as close to a Western style hunt or a Western style hike that you will get. We have some steep climbs. We have some long climbs. We have some some really gnarly single track sections. But anyways, on that 2 mile section, they'll have 2 more targets that they will have to shoot. And then that's basically the competition on Saturday. On Sunday, we have a 20 target 3D course. And this 3D course is going to be a very challenging 3D course. We're going to have a lot of steep angles, different terrain to go over, and as well, I mean, you're dealing with some steep hills too. So the way that our challenge is set up is that on Saturday you have your course time. Let's say it takes you an hour to go through the course.
Okay.
So then the points for the scoring for shooting the 3D targets, for every point less than a perfect score that you shoot, you get a 15-second penalty added onto your time.
Ooh.
So the guys and gals that are going to be at the top are not only very fit people, but they're also very, very good shooters. So you have to be both. Just like hunting around here or out west, especially out west in the mountains, you have to be fit to climb the mountains. You know, you might be 5, 6 to 10 miles back in. You're going over, you know, you're ascending and descending thousands of feet. But then, you know, when the time comes, you have to make the shot. If you're not a good shot, then you know you're going to be going home with a tag in your pocket. So,
or worse yet, you're going to have the guilt of wounding the animal.
Right.
I'd hate to do that. I mean, I've wounded the whitetail, and it's like it just eats me up inside. It's like because like you're going through your mind and what you did wrong, and like, okay, what do I need to do next year to prevent that from happening? So if you're using a rifle, it's like I need to shoot more. Or if you're using an archery, it's like I need to practice double on what I plan on hunting at.
Right. So with the Train to Hunt family and lifestyle and the movement that we are creating is that people need to practice shooting their bow under distress. So the best way to do that, being in Wisconsin, being a tree stand hunter all my life, I get that you're not doing burpees, you're not running around in the whitetail woods. But when that buck steps out, or even that doe, whatever it is, your heart is going to be ticking, at least for most of us. So the best way to simulate that through practice is through physical exercise. So whatever it might be, it doesn't have to be burpees. It might just be do 10 push-ups or do 10 jump squats. Get that heart rate going so you get a feel for what it's like to draw your bow and to hold that pin steady while your heart rate is ticking. So, and
you can't use rangefinders, can you, on this course?
No, you actually can. You can use rangefinders on this course. On Sunday during the 3D course, there will be a handful of targets that will say no rangefinder.
Okay.
So that's the other thing with our 3D course. It's not just a typical 3D course like a lot of hunters are used to doing, is that at every target there is something that you need to do. It might be draw from your knees and shoot.
Okay.
It might be draw standing, kneel, and shoot. We have 3 kind of signature shots that we do that are timed.
Okay.
Where you have to draw and shoot the target in 5 seconds. Otherwise, you get a 0. You have to draw and shoot 2 arrows in 12 seconds. So the way that works is that you are able to draw and get on your target and take your time on that first target. Once you shoot, the time starts and you have 12 seconds to knock another arrow and to do a follow-up. So that's perfect real-life scenario. Most of us have been in that situation where you shoot an animal and either you miss or even if it's a deadly shot and it's standing 20, 30 yards off from where you first shot at that, you're going to get a second arrow in it because it's still standing there. That's the ethical thing to do, is to get, until that thing's down, you're getting some arrows in it. So that's the follow-up shot, is at 2 and 12 to get that second shot off as fast as you can and as accurate and ethical as you can. Then the other time shot is a 30-second hold. You have to draw and hold your bow back or your arm back for 30 seconds.
Okay.
So again, a lot of us have been in that situation where the buck is coming in or the elk and it stops behind a tree and you're at full draw and you got to sit there or stand there and wait. That's what that is simulating. So
that's good to hear that you broke down the time ones, because it's like I'd hate to have somebody that try to rapid fire in 12 seconds, but at least it allows you to give them that realistic point of view. So this way, when you shoot once and then you have to shoot again, so this way then you know that you're setting your body up and your mental toughness, fortitude, and making sure your second shot is just going to be as accurate, but now it's going to be timed, because 12 seconds in the real world is a long time, but when you're setting with your when you're doing all this right here, it's going to be just as tough. But man, it's good to hear that breakdown, because it's now when people hear that, there's like, you don't have to worry about people that have could generate target panic from, or for some reason.
Right, and a lot of the guys and gals in Train to Hunt that are training for these events, some do have target panic, but it's ironic that a lot of people that do have target panic, once they start shooting under distress with an elevated heart rate, a lot of times their target panic goes away because they're not thinking about it. It takes a lot of that head game is out of the equation at that time. You're working just purely on muscle memory and so
very neat. And so Nate, you've done a really good job of manicuring the trails, haven't you? Try to give them a little bit of toughness, but also allowing them to not have to worry about going through knee-high brush.
Yeah, we've been working with Brian as he kind of changes the course around and picks his final route to make sure that everything is kind of it's as natural as it can be, so you're getting a realistic experience, but you're not going to go through poison ivy or any thistles or things like that. Keeping them somewhat manicured so that you're not going to catch a stick in the eye or something, because these guys are going to be moving. So we want to create a really realistic experience, but keep it safe for them. Yeah,
because when I first arrived here and you guys were just getting off the mountain, I mean, everybody here was giving Brian tons of great feedback. I mean, I was listening to you just jabber off a mile a minute. Like, we get a little change here, a little change here, a little change here, but it's all in the perspective of safety for the competitors.
Right. We want to make things as challenging as possible, but still, because our ultimate goal here is to get ready for hunting season. The last thing we want to see is somebody getting injured and not being able to hunt this fall.
Yes.
So, but we also want to use this event as a benchmark for people to see where their weaknesses are. Do I need to work more on my fitness because I'm going out to the mountains, and or do I need to work on my shooting? Or do I need to work on both?
Yeah.
That's what Train to Hunt is really about, is to see where you are for hunting season and to prepare you for that.
So. Oh, hands down, because I was having issues with my left elbow. I started developing golfer's elbow. Oh, because I used to work at a job where it was very repetitive work. And so I reduced my draw length, and then I tried to compensate for that by bending my elbow a little more. But I actually came across acupuncture. It was an instant fix. One session, done. And it's like, it was fantastic. Then it's like, I was shooting out here. It's like, I'm shooting with that handicap, and it's like, I need to actually go in, and as soon as I get back, I got to go down to lacrosse archery and have them go from 28 to 29 inches again. So this way it's comfortable, because it's like, I shot my first one just clear over the top of them, and then the second one was actually on the target. Third one is in the target as well. But I was just like, that's what I found. It's like, I got to practice just taking I have a target myself, Reinhardt one, and just throw it out there and actually just utilize my eyesight again and train my eyes for 10, 20, 30 yards without after relying on a range finder. Because like you said, there's going to be 3 targets, right? They're not going to be, you can't use a rangefinder?
There will probably be more than that.
Okay, good. See, then so those who are listening, practice that without using a rangefinder. And like the cool part is here, Wisconsin, we have all this public land, and there's places around where you can go to campgrounds, depending on which one will allow you to do it, or just go into a field, or even just find somebody that lives out in the country where you can't, because most places you can't shoot in town. Like, let's find some place to go practice that right there. So because at least we have 2 weeks prior to it. So, and the nice thing is, like, you can go to any archery place right here, and I'm sure they'll let you use your target. So go ahead and do it.
Well, another good tip and this is just a good tip for hunting in general, is when you're out hiking around, take your rangefinder and practice judging distance. And let's say you see a rock, and figure out how many yards that is from you, and then take your rangefinder and range it and see how accurate you are. That is one of the best things that you can do to be a better distance judger when it comes to 3D archery and for hunting too, because sometimes you might get caught in a situation that you can't use your rangefinder, and you have to be able to judge the distance of that animal. So
yeah, because there's be times where it's going to be coming up and it's going to be moving. It's like you have a very small window to get it to stop, and it's like you're not going to have time to do it, and you can't have a spotter behind you telling us like it's at this yard, because it's like they can hear you. Because you're close. If you're close enough to shoot them at 20 yards, they're going to hear your spotter behind you using ranging everything for you. So, and most people don't use the Garmin's, the rangefinders like that, or the Vendettas. So it's like because they add the extra weight on there, and they're very expensive. Because like you can buy. I use a Simmons rangefinder. It works just fine. I paid $80 for it. I'm not going to go out and drop $800 on a rangefinder. I mean, I get if you shoot professionally long distances, I get it. Because it's like you're it's one of those things though. But it was like for me, it's not in the budget. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, you know that's just like anything. You prioritize things and figure out what's more valuable. But I just want to let people know that if you're new to Train to Hunt or have seen it, come on out and just watch what we're all about. Because I think a lot of times people can be intimidated. And once you do a Train to Hunt event or once you even watch one, you see the Train to Hunt family is very supportive. I've done a lot of different competitions in my life, and some competitions are it's kind of cutthroat and they're after each other. But this event, you will see all the competitors cheering for one another because they are all embracing the Sufferfest together. And even the top guys and gals are going to be cheering everybody on. And that's, again, I think just the hunting community and a lot of like-minded people is that, again, our ultimate goal is for the fall. Yeah, we want to do the best that we can out here and see where we're at, but we're also about creating new friendships and meeting new people and stuff like that too. So
hands down. One thing I want to touch base back on, like, we're gonna rewind, but it's like you said, you have the age classes on everything. Break that down for us.
You bet. So we have, well, for one of all, if you're coming with little kids, we will have like the low tyke division. That's gonna go on between the competitors meeting and our first heat. So if you have little kids that just want to kind of run around and go through some of the challenges, and maybe if they have a bow that they shoot, we will accommodate that and make it fun for the little guys and gals. Then we have a teen division for kids that are 13 to 15. They have their own division that they can compete in. From there, we have the open division for both men and women, and that's essentially 17 years of age up to 40. So that's the open division, and that division is where they're carrying the most amount of weight. So for the guys, it's 50 pounds. For the ladies, it's 30 pounds is what they're going to be carrying. Once you hit 40 to 49, that is what we call the Masters division. For the men, that's 40 pounds in their backpack. For the women, I'm going to probably get this wrong, but it's around 20 pounds. And then we have what we call the Super Master, that's 50 to 59. And then we have the Senior Masters, which is 60 and over. Okay. So we essentially have 5 divisions with the teen division that we have. So you will be broken up into your age group, and the weight that you will be carrying and doing the challenges with will be scaled for your age.
Smart. Because you had Fred. He was 66, right?
Fred, yeah.
And this was his first practice, or was he
first practice? Yeah, he just found out about Train to Hunt just a few weeks ago, and he just started shooting a recurve bow of all things at 66 years of age, only a few months ago, and he came up to try us out. So
yeah, and he's a very humble gentleman, and he's really excited about it. I mean, he just beat cancer. He had an operation here, and then that was happened right when he bought the bow back in March.
I think,
yeah. So it's like he is. I mean, he's really impressive. I mean, he's a contender, and
he's double my age, and he kicked my ass.
Yes, he beat me. He beat me too. It's like, but it's very inspiring to see a gentleman like that. And him and I actually had a lot of similar charities in mind that we do, because we're both very homeless invested for charities, and then veterans as well. So it was very nice to communicate that with them. And I did a short, like 45-second video. You did a video with him too as well. It's like it's just he's real inspiration. So it's like. Doesn't matter what your age is. It's like you should just go out and do it. It's a lot of fun, and that's true. It's like when I first walked in here and met all the people that were just practicing, they were all really excited to see a new face here, and then somebody's bringing a popularity to it and doing some publicity for them as well. It's like I think that was really humbling experience, because like it's a very big community, because it's like they want everybody to see, because like, it just makes stories much more fun.
Well, and I think what's great about Train to Hunt and Kenton bringing this event nationwide and not just out west is that here in the Midwest, if you're a hunter and you're trying to be a hunter athlete and being as fit as you can to be ready for out west, all that you had to do was maybe some trail runs, maybe some a half marathon, to kind of stay motivated and keep your training up. But now we actually have an event for hunters that's specifically for archery, that you get to run around and do these crazy challenges and push yourself and meet new people, all centered around archery. And that is, for me, growing up in Wisconsin and not having that avenue, and now having it here, I just think is a great thing.
I got you. So since he says he's bringing kids in here for teenager stuff, what are activities you can do to keep them from being bored and creating a scene?
We're talking about setting up a little obstacle course that's kid friendly to kind of keep them interested, motivated, give them a little space to run around, and then they can watch the competitors and kind of maybe some of them will get some inspiration to compete the next year, depending on their age, and or kind of pick somebody who is inspirational to them, and kind of get some insight on how they want to move forward with their life as they get older and get into archery more, be athletic, healthy, and just be outside, have fun.
That's very true. And who else is going to be here too? It's like I heard HHA is going to be here, and who else is going to be here?
So we are trying to make this an event where we plan on getting done with the competition on Saturday early afternoon.
Okay.
So BHA, Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, will probably be here, probably with a booth. We'll have some novelty shots in the afternoon. We might have a BHA sponsored long distance shot. Blackhawk Bow Hunters Club is the club that I belong to. They have some movable targets that we might bring out and have some novelty shots for that to for fun stuff basically to do in the afternoon. There's a guy I'm talking with that has aerial archery where they shoot the disc up in the air and you have little foo-foo arrows that you shoot at the disc. Fun stuff to do that. Anybody of any age can do that. And then at night, Saturday night, we are going to have a band. I believe it's Sheriff and the Outlaws.
Sheriff and the Outlaw. Yep, we'll
That's
be playing.
awesome.
We'll have some. We're going to do what we do best in Wisconsin. We're going to do some good meat on the grill, some good meat on the smoker, and some beer.
Very cool. And, so you are going to have alcohol here for the ones that are going to be here for the concert, I think.
Yep. Yeah. We'll have some beer, bonfire. Sheriff and the Outlaw is kind of a honky tonk Southern rock style of band. They play out here all the time in the winter. They got a good following and some easy listening music and some beer and a fire.
And I think it's important for people to know, too, that I believe the Tyro Tavern will be open all day serving food and drinks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. The Tyro Tavern will be open with, we'll have hamburgers, hot dogs, brats, all that sort of stuff during the day. Soda, water, beer if you choose, that sort of thing. So
fair enough. For those participating, don't drink before, drink after. Because it's like I had a few beers last night, and it's like I like I like the heavier IPAs, so it was 11.2% alcohol. So I had 2 beers. Like I was fine, I was great. But they're a little spendy. But no, for the concert, are you going to be charging a admission fee?
Nope. It's all part of just come out and watch Train to Hunt and get interested in hunting, being fit. If you do want to have a couple beers the night before, it's probably realistic hunting. We all get up to the hunting cabin and indulge a little too much and get up in the morning like, oh boy.
Well, the good thing is that the heavy competition's on Saturdays. So Saturday night, if they want to enjoy, they can, because Sunday morning is just the 3D aspect of it. So it's not going to be really physically demanding on Sunday. And there is going to be camping available if somebody wants to.
I was going to bring up that too as well. So, what do you have for camping then? So, did you do strictly tent camping? Or?
We have a couple spots for RVs if you want to bring your RV, and then we have a big area that you can tent camp in as well.
Very cool. So. That's those who are traveling from La Crosse or from Milwaukee. You have opportunities instead of spending time in Madison, getting a hotel and such. So, there's plenty of opportunity there to become accommodated.
And there's Blue Mountain State Park just up the way too. If you're looking for more RV spots or more of a campground atmosphere than here, there's that. It's just a few miles away from here as well.
So what about showers? Because I'm really starting to smell this.
We do not have showers for our campers. That would be where Blue Mountains.
There is a pond here, and it is enter at your own risk. And there are some pretty big snapping turtles in it. So that's.
You might come out with like a couple extra ears or a third eye
or a couple less toes,
but it is water, so I mean,
fair
just
enough.
Depends on your tolerance.
That is very true. I'm watching this guy walk up and down. We're here at we're sitting out here on the patio here at Tyrol Basin, and we're watching this gentleman. I watched him walk in, and he just put his stuff down and goes all the way up, coming all the way back down, and it just like you have this open to the public, right? For
people who want to come out and hike the hill, we generally allow that as long as they're respectful of the property. We don't really have too much issue. If you want to come out here and kind of be at putts and ride your dirt bike or ATV around, we usually ask you to find a different spot. But if you're going to come out, be respectful and just hike. We don't got no problem
Nathan
with that.
does have an AR in his office, so if you are not respecting his property.
It's for woodchucks. Woodchucks.
Yeah, which we did find a den one. And then the cool thing is, too, you can also walk your pets out here. I saw that leash only, so which is fantastic, especially if you've got a dog that just got a lot of energy.
Yeah, Sarah, who did train to hunt today, she brings her Rottweiler out here when she trains during the week, and they run up and down the hill, and I think Sarah's more fit than the Rottweiler for sure. And sometimes it's laying down here in the shade while she's still running up and down the hill. And yeah, we're a pet friendly place, and I have dogs myself, and it's a great place to have them. So
that's great. And so how long has Fit to Hunt been around?
Train to Hunt.
Sorry.
If you say Fit to Hunt again, I'm gonna have you do 20 burpees.
Yeah, no kidding. It's my fault. So Train to Hunt. So how long has this been started since was first founded in Washington?
Yeah, so I believe this is either the 9th or the 10th year that Kenton has been doing Train to Hunt. So the first handful of years was strictly just out west, mostly in the Northwest, and then people started telling them, say, hey, you need to bring this here, or bring it to Colorado or Wisconsin, and then just in the last, I'd say 3 or 4 years, Kenton has been bringing it, all over the place, and for whatever reason, I guess Wisconsinites just have something to prove. That we've been the biggest qualifier now for the 2nd or 3rd year in a row.
That's awesome. Plus, we do have elk hunting now too, which is great.
That's true.
I wonder, is our ecosystem sustainable for mule deer?
That's a great question.
I know none of us have that qualification to answer that question, but it's like it'd be cool to see, because we got elk successfully transplanted. It's like, do you know how cool it'd be to also have muleys walking around here too? Just these big old racks would be fantastic.
Right. No, that's a great question. I never even thought about that.
And I always wondered too, like, why don't we have speed goats around here? I mean, it's like, especially like in Iowa, it's like once you hit west of the Missouri, you have speed goats and all that fun stuff down there, but we don't have it over here. It's like, why not?
Right. We do have a lot of bear though.
Oh yes, we do. That's for Dan Tootin. Then also we have wolves too, which has been a big aspect of the whole area, because it's like we up north. It's like we didn't even introduce the wolves back in the day here. Back in the 90s and stuff like that, they just came across the frozen lake. So as a repercussion of that, now all the bigger megafauna are starting to come down here. We have had bears showing up in La Crosse. We've had bears showing up in Iowa. Bears showing up in northern Illinois, and also pushing the big cats too, because like they had a big cat in Dodge Center here 2 weeks ago. I know a property I used to hunt in Minnesota, southern Minnesota. We have a big cat out there. Saw a tail once, but I saw his footprints all over the place. But he never goes after the livestock. He only goes after the coyotes or the deer, which I am perfectly fine with that. So it's like the landowner never raised a stink about it. So it's like, well, therefore it's like, well, it's unique to see that around here, but it's like we're not going to monkey with it.
Well, and there was I believe an official cougar sighting in Beloit.
No kidding.
I think I read that. Yeah, just
I read
week
that.
or 2 weeks ago.
And then this past fall, I was driving to a stand-down event on the first week of October, and I saw a state trooper with the lights on. So it's like, oh, someone must have pulled somebody over. No, it was a bear on its back. Somebody smucked it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, big old black bear. He's just sitting right there. And this was only between Sparta from West Salem to Sparta. So it's like he was walking. He got hit hard.
Hopefully they'll open up some more tags for us for those bears, so that we don't have to wait
there was talk about that,
5 years.
Yes, I believe there is talk about that right at the moment here. Now, I was listening to you talk about when you're elk hunting. Was your elk story? Was that from last year or?
Yeah, that was from 2017, this past fall.
Okay.
We went out to Montana. And we had a successful elk hunt. We went to the Bob Marshall Wilderness area, and we hiked in way too far. It was about a 10-mile hike in.
Wow.
We hunted there for, I think, 5 or 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
Saw very little sign. The elk were just really, really quiet. And then one afternoon, we probably had at least a dozen wolves around us. Just
oh, you were close to a den then.
Yeah, they
sounds like a John Dudley story there.
They lit up, and so we're like, you know what? Let's just hike out. And so the next morning we got up super early, hiked out, and we went to Plan B, which is none of your business mountain in Montana.
Okay,
I don't know if you know where that's at.
It's a fantastic name for it. I love it.
So anyways, yeah, we had a great hunt. We got it done on the second to last day. Able to call a bull in for my buddy Ed, and we connected, and we just had an epic pack out. We had about a 7-mile pack out. We took most of the bull between the two of us in one trip, and that hike, that pack out, is why we do train to hunt. Is why we put on the heavy packs and we put on the miles and do all the training that we do all year round, because we had about a mile descent, about 1,000-foot drop through some gnarly stuff, and then once we hit the trail, about a 5.5 mile hike back to the truck.
Okay.
Up and down, but super heavy packs. I don't have any idea what they say. Ed thinks they only weighed 100 pounds. I tell him they were a lot heavier than 100 pounds. But we're able to do that, and we're able to wake up the next morning and hike back in and do some more hunting and bring the rest of the elk out. So it didn't ruin our bodies. I know a lot of guys and gals that go out that aren't training, and they happen to get an animal down, and after they get it back to the truck, their bodies are ruined, and they can't go back out to fill their buddy's tag or to enjoy themselves
because they're just so far wrecked.
Right.
Then my question is too, because I just got done listening to Dr. Matthew Walker. He is a sleep scientist when it comes down to it, and he was on Rogan here about a year or so ago. Fantastic episode, but he talks about sleep. Now you can chime in on this one too, Nate. How do you guys handle your sleep during the rut, or even during? Well, how about we start, since we're still talking about your elk hunt? How did you guys handle your sleep?
Like when we're out in the mountain?
Yeah, it's like, so. What was your game plan from sundown to sun up?
So usually we get back to camp just after dark, depending on how far we're hunting from. So I mean, you're so dead tired that you basically make a quick meal and you're in the tent. And for me, I don't have any trouble sleeping. Except in the one spot, we ran into some locals, and they said that there's a large male grizzly that lives in that area.
Okay.
So those few nights, if you heard a twig break, my heart was pounding, you could feel your heartbeat beating through your eyeballs, and then you're not trying to breathe because you're trying to hear, was that really something, or is that what is that? But I honestly don't have an issue sleeping in the mountains because for one thing, you're just so tired.
True.
And at that time of the year, usually you're sleeping by, let's say, 9 o'clock. And for us, because we're doing kind of a bivvy camp, we don't have like a long hike to get anywhere in the morning, so we don't have to get up 2-3 hours before light to get somewhere, because we're already within probably a mile or a half mile of where you want to hunt. So
fair enough.
So that allows us to sleep in a little bit.
That makes sense then, because you're looking at 7 hours of sleep then?
Oh yeah,
that's good, because usually, at the end of the episode, it really sets into your mind about you want to have at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep if it's possible. Because anything less than that, you'll run into fatigue, and it's like it breaks down, it doesn't allow your brain to relax and get rid of some of the buildup and junk. Because he says it's like after a certain point in time, you're actually doing damage to your brain. And on top of that too, it's like this week, there was a gal that I work with. She was describing a story. What had happened? There was a nurse. They were over by Gunderson in La Crosse, and there was a nurse that got off at 16-hour shift, and she's driving along, and she rear-ended her and her friend and the babies in the back there and stuff like that. But he explains to him, it's like any nurse that has less than has been on a shift for more than 12 hours is 170% likely to get in an accident. Sure enough, luckily it was just a fender bender, but it's like it really changes your perspective when you're going to go underneath the knife. And especially how many hours have you been up? And it's like, and you've said you're over 12 hours, I don't want you in my room. Because it's like it's something like 400% higher to kill somebody. It's something ridiculous. It's only about 2 hour long podcast. I recommend listening to it. Now, following up with you, how do you handle do you hunt out west, or you just primarily stay here?
I don't really hunt out west. I don't have time because hunting season here is when we're getting ready to make snow.
True.
So I will kind of be on the opposite end of the spectrum. We will run 40, 50, 60 straight hours, and then I'll go sit in a stand.
Wow.
So that's just training yourself to be awake. There was many days last year during gun season here that I'd make snow all night. I go sit out, watch for deer in the morning. Didn't see nothing, then I go home, go to bed. So it's kind of a different perspective. I worked night shift most of my life, so you just you get used to lack of sleep. It's the perspective of potentially doing brain damage is kind of interesting. I wonder how many brain cells I've lost over the years by running those long hours. But we got to get snow made, and
this is your bread and butter. This is how you make your money.
So that's we do what's got to get done, and then.
So here's an interesting fun fact for you. So like Ron Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, they ran in 4 hours of sleep most of their careers, most of the political careers, stuff like that. Well, that's what actually accelerated their Alzheimer's, is because they weren't able to let their brain rest. And there's only, and he was explaining to me, there's only like 1% of the entire population actually legitimately can survive of 4 hours a night. Only 1%. It's like you're more likely to get struck by lightning than actually have this gene. So don't think you do. The worst part is, though, there's no way to test for it. So it's like you don't know. And it's like, but it's one of those things where you don't really recognize it until you hit your 45, your 55, your 65, and like right where you're retired, it's like that grave is getting closer and closer because I didn't take care of my body.
Well, I know Ben Greenfield. I don't know if you listen to Ben Greenfield's podcast.
Ben Greenfield, that's Rudy Bowman, right?
No, Ben Greenfield is his own guy. He's famous for being the fittest man in the world as well.
Oh, okay.
He's a super cool guy. He's actually trained to hunt.
Okay.
Competitor. He's actually doing the national championship too.
No kidding. That's gonna be some stiff competition for you, huh?
Yeah. So he's got a super cool podcast, and he's got a lot of cool people, a lot of doctors and scientists that come on about health, fitness, nutrition, sleep. And I think one of the guys said that for a man, if you get less than 6 hours of sleep a night, it's like not getting any sleep at all, or it does something with the chemicals in the brain. So,
I get it.
I can see it. I can see that.
Yeah, because listen to these people, like they call it, you're getting an abridged version. The gentleman, Dr. Walker, has a book out there you can read, but it's just fantastic. So we're coming up on an hour. This is something new that I've added recently. But what is your 5 top game animals that you want to get? What you either hunted or you want to get after?
Well, I guess I'm not big on exotics. I would go on a hunt like that, but an access deer would be cool. But for me, it's really elk and whitetail.
Okay.
Those are the 2 things that get me up in the morning.
Do you do any fishing or anything like that you like to get after?
I used to be a big fisherman, but once I got into serious archery and doing a lot of competitive archery over the years, you only have so many dollars and so much time to go. So
that's so true.
So the fishing went, and the archery took my life
hold
over.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, my fiance used to work at Gander Outdoors, so it's like I got a lot of good fishing gear for dirt cheap. So it's like it was fantastic. How about you, Nate? What are your top 5 game animals?
I love whitetail hunting.
Okay.
That's kind of the main. That's our thing around here. Coyote hunting's great time. I mean, that's not really big game, but
it's still a fun animal to shoot.
It's still fun. Me and the woodchucks, we have a pretty epic battle out here at the ski hill. A little bit Caddyshack going on. Me running around with AR firing at woodchucks here and there.
I can see Tannerite coming into the picture soon.
I've tried to stay away from that just because of the damage it could potentially do, and
especially in
getting a little carried away. I'd love to get a bear tag. I've been putting in for that for a few years now, and still haven't got drawn. Love to get that, and I'd love to go hunt some hogs in Texas.
There we go.
That'd be a great time.
That's fantastic. I'm the host, so I don't have to worry about breaking those down because I talk about all the animals that's like either one hunt or have had the pleasure to hunt and get after. Now, how can we find you on social media there, Brian?
So social media, Train to Hunt, both Facebook and Instagram. Just Train to Hunt is the name. Me personally, I'm on Instagram as Get Fit with Brian. I guess same thing on Facebook as well too. Get Fit with Brian.
Fair enough. How about you? Do you want to besides Tyrol Basin? Do you have any? Do you want any attraction? Or you? Well, I don't see a ring on your finger yet, so you are single.
I got a fiance.
Oh, very cool.
Autumn is her name.
So never mind then, ladies.
I chose my favorite season and decided to marry it.
That's awesome.
TyrolBasin.com. Tyrol Basin on Facebook, Tyrol Basin on Instagram. We also have Tyrol Basin Parks on Instagram, so cool. You can see all of our terrain park stuff. We're part of a whole bunch of different social media things as far as like unaffiliated productions. Havey City, Alex Havey does a lot of filming out here for us for freestyle
wonderful
activities. We do some pretty cool stuff out here during the winter. we're hoping to do some really cool stuff during the summer.
Very cool. And then I should have asked this a little bit earlier, but is there any places around here that does training for Fit to Hunt here in Wisconsin that they can go?
You have 20 burpees.
Fuck. Train to hunt. I am so sorry. It's the lack of being physically fit. But for Train to Hunt, is there any places that they can practice for this upcoming event?
Yeah, so I mean we're 3 short weeks away from the Wisconsin qualifier and 5 weeks away from nationals. I have a class that I hold at Blackhawk Bow Hunters and here at Tyrol Basin on Tuesday nights. And then also if they just contact me and need some training, I can try to get them in between now and the Wisconsin qualifier. But like Nathan said, if you want to come out to Tyrol Basin and run the hill, attempt to run the hill. Maybe crawl up the hill.
Yeah.
Whatever you can do. That's open here as well too. So
very cool. I didn't know if there's any other facilities, any archery shops that do Train to Hunt.
Lacrosse archery. We got Anthony Schmidt. He's coming down. I know he's got a group up in La Crosse that's training for it. He's got a pretty good following. So you can bug him for that.
So that's on the west end of the state. Anything else?
There's unfortunately right now, I don't know of many clubs or many pro shops that are really getting behind it on the east side. So I know Whale Tails Archery has had a team the past couple of years.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm not aware. So if you are a pro shop, if you are a club, contact us because along with what we're doing here, we have a new indoor archery challenge that we had some beta testing this past winter at La Crosse Archery, Vortex Optics, and Papa's Trading Post. And this next year for the winter of 2019-2020, we're going to take that nationwide, and we're going to have some indoor competitions all across the nation. So
that's awesome. And then in the show notes, I'm going to post all of Tyrol's information in there, and also Train to Hunt in there as well. So this way, then everybody listens to this podcast in the past or in the future, and then once it passes, go from there. So thank you for turning in.
And we'll also post a video of Jeff doing the 20 penalty.
Yes, it's like I need to show that I made a mistake of saying not saying Train to Hunt. So that's my bad. But thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you go on Stitcher and rate us. Give us positive feedback. You can always directly DM me because I run all the social media. But thank you for your time. You have a great day.